Hello, I'm Blade Boquest. What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about in Acie Infinity, do eyes and ears matter? It's a good question, especially for new players. So the four main body parts of the Axie are the back, the tail, the mouth, and the horn. And those things are actually going to determine the cards that you play. So you'll be able to see the abilities that your opponent has simply by glancing at the Axie. It's a really nice feature of this game. So based off of how those breed and what parts that you have, that determines your skill set, that determines what cards you're going to get. But there are two more parts to the Axie, the eyes and the ears. A lot of players are wondering, do they matter? Now, the intermediate to advanced players can still get something from this video, because I'm going to go over a couple ways that maybe the not pure builds could be even a little bit stronger in certain circumstances. But at the very least, let me throw this graphic on the screen here. Every one of these 6 types, and we're not including the special types, because they don't have parts that are unique to those body types. They operate differently. But for the main 6, we have plant, aqua, reptile, beast, bug, and bird. And they all have a specialty. I don't want to use dominant and recessive because we're already talking about that in terms of genes. So let's just say they have a primary stat and they have a secondary stat. So if you get a plant mouth, for example, there's a lot of different options for it. You're going to get the card that is unique to that mouth. But you also get 3 health and you also get 1 morale, right, for plant. So it's a 3-in-1 on that. Now, if you have plant eyes on the plant as well, you go up health again. You get another 3 health, and then you get another 1 morale. So these eyes and ears do matter. Now, originally when I got into it, I had a couple beasts, and I got beasts that had 61 morale. I wanted to make sure they had 61 morale, and I was running the Ronin Imp dual Nutcracker build, or as they call it, the Rimp Donut. Always makes me think of Yu Yu Hakusho, Monster Beast Donut, because it's a beast and has the donut skill. And what I thought was cool, I thought the Neo glasses were pretty cool. Just sitting there with shades. He's got his high morale, right? Morale is the stat that you need on beasts, so that's fantastic. The problem is, as you can see, Bug has 3 morale and 1 HP, while pure beast parts have 3 morale and 1 speed. So I did have my primary stat on beast maximized as 61, but I was actually operating out of 40 speed instead of the best a pure beast can have, which is 41 speed, which essentially meant that my 2 beasts with their sunglasses, if the sun is behind the opponent, they could simply see how they're going to die a little bit better. It wasn't ideal. So I was thinking, hey, we'll get the abilities that we need. That'll be fine. We'll have the primary stat maxed. I don't know how much I care about the secondary stats, stuff like that. But I want them to look pretty dang cool, right? We're just going to give them some sunglasses, and it'll probably sell better. They did not. But anyway, so that was one of the ways that I, knew eyes and ears affected things, but I still kind of deviated a little bit. Now, why is that important? So each one of these has a different speed threshold. If you look at bird, the maximum speed they can have with 6 pure bird parts is 61 speed. So that's pretty up there. That's a pretty significant speed. It is the fastest Axie that's out there. Right behind that is the Aqua. So Aqua, being a pure Aqua, can have 57 speeds. Now, the reason that's different, even though you have 3 speed from an Aqua part and 3 speed from a bird part, is that the individual base stats of every Axie type is slightly different. So bird is just naturally heavy towards speed. And it's pretty interesting how they set that up. So Aqua, right, has 3 speed and 1 HP, and bird has 3 speed and 1 morale. You may not know how all of these interact with each other, so let me just kind of go over that real quick. HP is health. Big surprise there. You want as much as you can on plants and reptiles. They don't exactly scale up by 10, so just because you have 61 on a plant tank, for example, doesn't mean you have 610 in the game, but it's a modifier that scales up, and it's almost around 10. The more you have, the better. For speed, it's essentially just who is the fastest goes first. If you have matching speed, like 2 beasts running up against each other, you'll often see that. It's whoever has currently the least amount of health, it's current, not maximum health, that then goes first. So if there are 2 beasts that are perfectly synced in speed, and I know my opponent has 2 energy or something, I may not attack, because if he uses 2 beast cards, it'll bring my beast health down, right? If we're just talking about a 1 versus 1 scenario. And then guess what? Even though he was going first throughout the whole game, as soon as he attacks and brings my health below his, on the next turn, my beast goes first. And if I didn't attack, I now have 4 energy, and I have 4 cards, and I can 1-combo his beast. So I can win by being patient, by understanding how these work. So I wanted to kind of go over some of these mechanics. So that's how speed works. Now skill is a little bit more advanced. So skill actually works when you combo cards. If you're comboing cards, you're playing multiple cards from one Axie. So it's just 2 or more cards would be considered a combo, and there's a slight damage modifier. So the skill modifier is this. Cards comboed add a combo bonus of attack times skill, and those are in parentheses, and then after you get that number, you divide that by 500. And that is added as damage to each card that is strung together in a combo. So the attack off of the card times skill. Fun. Nice math. Have fun doing that in the middle of your battle. Ultimately, what it means is it is not super significant, and it is the least important of the 4 stats, but that is how it works. It just deals with a damage modifier when you're playing more than 1 card, so at least be aware of that. Now, morale is also pretty interesting. So morale, it does 2 things. So number 1, it increases your overall crit chance. Now, I don't personally at this point know the modifier of 1 point of morale increases your crit chance % by a certain amount. If you guys know, please tell me in the comments. I'm learning just like you guys. One of the best ways to learn is to teach what you know. So I'm pouring out what I have so we can fill it back up, but I'm hoping to learn and become an expert like you guys. So the morale deals with crit, and every point of morale you get increases your crit chance, which is very effective on beasts that have a lot of crit combo cards. You have things like gain energy on crit. The other thing with morale, not exclusively beasts, but the other thing with morale is last stand. Now, last stand seems almost random, but it's actually not. Now, this is where the intermediate to more advanced players might pick up a little bit of new knowledge. It actually deals with a formula pertaining to how much health you have left when you're actually killed. And so what that means is, essentially, you have a pretty dang high chance, if damage just barely kills you, to go into last stand. Now, the reason that's interesting is, if you just rearrange some of your cards, you can actually change your abilities where, hey, you get him to 20 health, and then you do your 100 damage. There's a very, very low chance that they're going to go into last stand. And remember, it's a multiplier of the morale, which is why you very rarely see last stands in Aquas. It is possible, but it's very rare. And you're going to see more last stands in birds than Aquas because they have their subdominant, secondary, right? Their secondary trait as morale. The other thing, one more thing on morale, is it'll actually determine how many last stand ticks that you get. So a higher morale will give you more last stand ticks, a lower morale will give you low last stand ticks. So here's where the hybrids can be interesting. Say you've got a nice pure plant. So at that point, you're going to have 61 health, 41 morale. But what's nice about that is you've got your maximum health and stuff. And then if things go horribly wrong, you've got a better chance of morale. If you swap out the eyes and ears of a plant for a reptile, you don't really need the morale stat on plants so much. You already have maximum health at 61. What you actually would then get is 1 speed. So having a 2 reptile part, 4 plant part plant tank could be very effective. Now, it depends on what your build is, and it depends on what your team is. Because there are times when you want to go first, and there are times when you want to go last. When I say first, I mean in front of another tank. You don't want to go first if you're stealing his energy and he's stealing your energy. You do want to go last if you're using something that has higher damage modifier on being last. So you can tweak your speed based off of the eyes and the ears, and every part operates a little bit differently. So I kind of wanted to go over that with you guys today. So if you guys want to get more involved in the Acie Infinity discussion, just go to the Discord link right below in the comments. And if you click on the welcome channel, there's a little picture of an Axie. If you click on that, it's going to be the only way that you can see the Acie Infinity channel in our Discord. It's a pretty good conversation. You can come on over.